Hello, dear ones. Hello, dear friends, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you again for following this channel. Thank you for all your subscribes and likes and shares. This is really wonderful. We are starting to get here momentum, which is great. Do you feel it? Do you feel how time is quickening? I mean, it's literally quickening when the focus is there and when there's an alignment between what you know and what you want, the desire, the passion, and the will is driving you through, then manifestation happens in a blink of an eye, and everything that is connected to you starts showing up in a beautiful synchronicity according to your own will and desire. This is just amazing. Spoke about twin flames, and this is also the alignment of twin flames. When you are, how do you know that you are with your twin, or how do you know that you have met your twin? That is the one that is aligned to you. When you are aligned with your truth, when you are literally in that place of coherency between the mind and the heart, when the vibration is aligning, when there's no forces colliding, but rather forces going together, the coherency of the mind and the coherency of the heart, then you are literally experiencing the reality in a beautiful harmony. Harmony means that the vibrations are flowing, how would I say it? The vibrations are flowing with no loss of energy. Energy is not being lost through heat. There is no rubness. There is no two forces that are colliding, or two forces that are trying to go against each other, or that are not understanding each other. There is a coherency, and therefore energy can move smoothly without resistance. That's the word, without resistance, and therefore energy is not being lost to heat. And this is when the alignments are there, and this is when you notice really that person is there. That person is vibrating accordingly to your vibration. When your vibration is unsmooth, there is a resistance there, this is when you will meet that resistance with your twin flame partner. When there is no resistance within, when you can get to that place, and that place is not stagnant, it's always changing. You have to keep on that focus and to keep on that alignment within, so you will continue channeling that beautiful fluent energy, and then your partner is there reflecting to you that fluency. I didn't want actually to get into that. I wanted to speak about something else today, but before I get to that, there's that thing with subtitles. I'm doing my best to work on the subtitles. Please understand, I'm one person. If there's anybody out there that wants to reach out a hand and help me with my channel, help with conscious creations, please write down in the comments, contact me. We would love having somebody else. I would love having somebody else. Conscious Creations is made out of Sagy and Kali. We created it. We are now in separation, and I'm doing the things on my own. So if there's somebody out there, anybody out there that would like to reach out a hand, please contact me, and we can get this channel more flourishing. About the subtitles, YouTube is offering auto-translate. This is algorithms that understand the speech of my voice and create an automatic English subtitle to it when I am adjusting, when I am putting it in there, or when I'm calling it forth. And then I can do a Spanish subtitles, but without the English auto-translate, I cannot do a Spanish one. And sometimes it takes longer for YouTube to get those English subtitles, and sometimes maybe it's impossible. I didn't figure it out completely. I know that with some longer videos it takes longer. Maybe it's even impossible for it to generate auto-translate, and therefore I cannot put Spanish subtitles. So I am sorry about that. I'm doing my best. Anybody who wants to reach out and help me out on it, go for it. I'll be really grateful for it. So I'll try also to make this video shorter. Last time I just, got into the twin flame. I feel more in me to share with you guys about twin flame, because everything is conjunction together. Everything is coming now together. This is really a brink point in humanity, what we're experiencing now. And this is what I wanted to talk to you today. It's about a split. I am standing for unity. I am here to show and represent unity and to shine that light, to be a guide for unity. However, the unity continues to split again and again and again. It's understanding that the split is necessary, and the split is part of the unity, and the split comes from the unity. Do you see? This is the split, and it comes from a connection point, right? This is the point right here. That's the point where my hands are touching together. That's the point where the split started, and that point is still connected. So it's recognizing the split and coming back to that focal point, to that paradigm shift, that point that caused the split, falling back into that point in order to feel the unity. So the split that I'm seeing right now in society, it's been happening for some years now, but since the corona, it's really manifesting strongly. There's a beautiful bird that is coming to the window. Oh, that's really beautiful. So when corona started, it showed us really the split in society, and then it started evolving more and more and more. And what I'm seeing that is happening is that society is splitting even further towards the techno, the society part that will get more into technology, into the internet, into a certain framework. You can call it the matrix, you can call it a system. And another society that is forming itself closer to nature. Also there will be a redefining of what society means and building structures and systems. It's necessary. This is how our mind functions, and therefore this is how we are functioning. So this is unavoidable. But this is two societies that will form. One of them will be, you could even say, more gray or black and white, right? This would be more about virtual reality. So the outside world, it's interesting. It's actually going back inside. People will go back inside, but there will be an artificial part over there connecting themselves in with that reality that they perceive. Whereas the other part of society, the people that are starting to awake towards their inner truth, they would not need an intermediate, something to connect their reality with the outside reality. They start to understand that they project that from the inside out, and that reality that they project is called nature, is what we are living, what we are experiencing through life. So there will be that connection and that connection, and none of them is pure good or bad. Both are mixed. And in both, there will be a cycle of karma, dharma, that would take each individual, chooses here or chooses there, to move through their own reality, to have their own experience, and to share those experiences with the unity. So the ones that are in the matrix, their sharing would be on a cloud, on, how we used to share in technology. For the ones that are living in a more, let's say, natural state, or physical natural state, this sharing would be on a different level. This sharing would be more on a conscious level, whereas here will be more on a subconscious level. This will be more on a conscious level. But again, there will first of all still be bridges between them, and then again, don't forget, the focal point, the point where the split started, is always there. I see my role is being in that bridge, is bringing both sides again and again to that place of unity, of understanding we come from the same seed. This is what conscious creation is all about. This is what I'm all about. What I'm standing for is about unity. And this is what I'm calling also for everybody out there that feels that connection with me, that connection with unity, twin flame, Christ seed, consciousness, whatever it is that brought you to this channel, as well as other channels. There are other people that speak different version of what I speak, but we are all seeing the same truth, or we are all moving forwards towards the same goal, which is unity, which is sharing more from heart to heart and helping each other transcend and transform. So mind those two cycles that is starting to evolve beside each other. I think the biggest fear of people now is that they will have to choose, or they feel even forced to choose something because the other side is make them afraid. The point of unity is, you can call it also non-duality. Duality exists, right? We recognize it, but the point of unity recognizes that duality comes from a union, and that you can choose that union. That's the beauty. You again and again can choose the union, to come back to the union, and to experience the dualities from that place of unity. Experiencing the dualities from one side of those dualities. So if you're not experiencing it from the union, you must be on one side or the other. And when you are subjected to judgment. It's unavoidable. You are subjected to look where you are at and to look at the other thing as outside of yourself, as disconnected from who you are. And therefore comes judgments, jealousy comes from that too, shame, blame, right? We will, in my videos, I will talk more about the shame, blame game. And this is what we do or what people do in order to control each other, consciously or subconsciously. And it's good that I reached now the point of control, because on both systems that are developing parallel to each other, and again, that come from the same unity, from the same seed, it's about control. You go through the dharma karma cycle because you're trying to figure out how to control your life and how to control others, how to get what you want. This is actually what's happening. There's nothing wrong about it. This is what's happening from the very first moment that we are born. We are trying to realize what's going on in this reality, and how do I control it? How do I, as a baby, how do I reach out my hand and grab something? How do I make mommy give me what I need? Feed me, change my diaper, keep me warm. How do I make that happen? Right? We come here to the world without that possibility, without even the possibility of speech. We cannot articulate what we want. So the cognitive mind is from day one starting to understand, first of all, what are the forces that are pulling on this reality, that are pulling on the body that I'm suddenly incarnated in. What are the forces that are pulling on that body, that are interacting with that body, and how can I control those forces? And when we shift into two societies, one the more technology one, and the other one is the more, let's say, self-sustainable one, back to nature one, both of them will have to go through a cycle of understanding how to create that new society, what rules and regulations needs to be in place, how much does the individual control those. How much control is back to you? How much of your power is back to the individual, whereas how much of the power belongs to the system? And this will be the game. This will be also the difference between each other, and they will reflect each other on the opposite level, right? Well, on one of them, there will be more control of the system, less control of the individual, or let's say an illusion of the control for the individual. And on the other hand, there will be the control of the individual through the manifestation, through the understanding that the individual is capable of manipulating the system. So for each individual, there will be this understanding: in what way do I manipulate the system? In what way do I allow myself to do that? That's again that right and wrong part that comes into the power game. The power game has to do with right and wrong. So please bear in mind that this is what we're going to, and it's all about finding your space in that, how much you understand that you are God also, that you have the seed inside of you of creation, that you are allowed to create, and that you have the power to destroy and manipulate. You have that power. What you do with it is something different, but you have that power. It comes automatically with the ability to create. So, I promise that I make it short today, 16 minutes more or less. I have more to say, then stay tuned.